Welcome to God of War, the original Jaffe's other brainchild, the even more brainless brainchild.
And another one that got taken away from him before long. Funny how that works.
So, now we can actually select our difficulty. I'm gonna go normal. Should be fine.
Yeah.
Let's begin the adventure of the Bastard Son of Sparta.
So it's like once you get further in the game, all the difficulty comes from the platforming as opposed to the combat.
Oh yeah. Plus my controller's a bit fucked up, so that'll be even worse.
Yeah, I need to get a new PS2 controller as well. And PS3 for that matter. I've got like 3 of them and all of them are buggered.
Yeah. I recently replaced my PS3 controller,
and
so
Kratos cast himself
that thing is in
from
perfect
the
condition.
highest mountain in all of Greece. After 10 years of suffering,
Sorry about there being no subtitles, the game didn't have any. Thanks a lot, Jaffe.
Come to an end.
Yeah. It's weird going back to a lot of PS2 games and finding that subtitles were not the norm.
Yep.
Because I mean, even when I'm watching a movie, I always put the subtitles on just as a matter of course.
Kratos had once been a champion.
It's only good. We don't even have the option here.
I will send you back to the depths of Hades!
Here's where that progressive scan is doing them no favors. They would probably want this to be a little more pixelated.
Oh god, the arm joints look really bad now that I see them. Wow. Hey, remember when this game looked good?
It certainly was a time that happened in history.
Back so long, long ago in the before times.
Yep. Let's see, grab a guy. Tear him in half, why not? Let's see if we can... I'm trying to, like, pierce Johnny him right to the camera.
It's the third game that introduced the bull charge when you had hold of someone.
You know, I never played the third game, so I wouldn't know. And I haven't played this game in many years, so...
Yeah. See, it's the second one I haven't really played much of. Even though I own it. I think I've got first two on PS2, and third one I got the PS4 remake.
Yeah, I haven't played these games since God of War 2 was new.
Wow.
Yeah. So 2007-ish.
I was going to say 2007, 2008.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember watching, there was a guy on something awful, Limp Cheese, who was doing really good playthroughs of them. And there was one of the secrets in the game required you to get something ridiculous, like a 1,000 hit combo. It would flash up a website address, which really gave you nothing. But that always struck me as one of the dumbest secrets ever in a game.
Yeah, that is some bullshit. I guess it was a gimmick to have websites in your game in that era.
The Siren series was lousy with them.
That's true.
The first game had 1 or 2, and then the second game had half a dozen or so.
Oh yeah.
When I say bull charge, I mean you grab hold of someone and then you run around the area using them as a battering ram. You could do that without an army's bit of time.
That does sound hilarious.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's like I remember hearing years ago the ancient Greek had a specific word for using another person as a weapon. So literally like using someone as a battering ram, throwing them at their at other people.
I believe it was called Kratosing.
Would not surprise me.
I'm supposed to be blocking these, that's why they gave me the block prompt immediately before this. Who blocks in a character action game?
Why block when you can just dodge?
Exactly.
It occurred to me the other day, that's why I prefer Bloodborne to regular Souls-likes. Because it's more about getting out of the way of attacks rather than just tanking them.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I've always subscribed to the theory that if you can't catch it, you can't hit it.
Yeah, my analog stick decided to go berserk right now.
The balance beams.
Yeah, luckily we can QTE our way back onto them. Which means we should just grab the edge and sidle across it. Kratos.
Still one of the worst mechanics in this game.
Why? Why did you do that, Kratos?
He's so angry he can't even walk straight.
Yep. Drunk with rage.
And also the 5 flagons of ale that he had on the way over.
Those don't count.
Those are his pre-massacre beers.
Okay, we made it. The hardest boss in the game.
At least until you get to Hades.
Stay away! Stay away from me!
Because if Kratos is suffering, you're
I know
suffering
who you are,
too.
Spartan.
Yep.
I know what you've done. I would rather die than be saved by you.
Are we the bad guy?
You.
We're David Jaffe protagonist. Of course we're the bad guy.
Stay away from me.
I'd rather die than be saved by you. Your terms are acceptable.
Yeah, we can't quite fit our blades through those bars.
Well, as a PS2 game, it was really just a wall with transparencies on it.
Yeah. I mean, like, Kojima games tended to have that sort of level of detail.
Yeah, but he's a weird obsessive when it comes to details like that.
Yep.
Like, everyone knows about the ice cube physics from MGS2.
Yeah, no kidding. I've heard that described as the pinnacle of game design.
It's the pinnacle of something.
Harpies are here, flying enemies when we don't have a ranged attack. Get out of here, Spartans.
Actually, this is about the easiest it'll ever be to fight in the entire series. At least in the other games, you've got stuff like bow and arrow, or the spells to hit them from a distance.
Yeah. We really need something at this point already. Oh, yeah, that's right. Circle. Get those wings off. And then I should slap them on my shoulders and take to the skies.
You're a game too early for that.
Yeah. Is Icarus in the second game?
Yeah, you yoink his wings.
Yeah. That's like my most remembered part of the entire series, and I don't know why.
And then in the third game, you run into his father, Daedalus, who's played by Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, nice.
And Rip Torn plays Hephaestus. Who's a really good job of it. He's one of the best actors in the game, surprisingly.
Yeah, I can see that. That works. This was immediately like a prestige series.
Yep.
So, of course, they got the big names.
Clancy Brown plays Hades as well, who is just fucking loving his role.
Glorious.
He is chewing up the scenery like you would not believe. It is wonderful.
That guy rules. I'm glad he has, like, the ability to retire 1,000 times over thanks to Mr. Krabs.
Oh, yeah. And he still just keeps doing weird bit parts in B movies. Just really more for... I think really at this point it's just, well, this sounds like it'll be fun,
Yeah, one would hope that there's an end game to making all the money in the world.
Yeah. I mean, Christopher Walken used to... It wasn't exactly an open secret, but it was well known that he would basically take any part as long as it didn't leave him out of pocket. He was like, okay, so you're doing a weird college movie where I play a German homunculus. Cool. Pay for my transport, pay for me to come over for a couple of days, somewhere to stay, hotel, and I'll do it for you.
Yeah, I know, what's his name? That one guy. Not a good anecdote when I don't know the guy's name. I'm bad
Oh
at
yeah,
it.
that guy.
But the Hispanic actor who plays a lot of criminals and was a criminal himself before he got into acting.
Played Machete.
Yeah. You can't remember his name either?
God damn it.
Like, one of the most famous actors. This is embarrassing, but it happens. He will take roles in, like, student films and shit. Danny Trejo, yes. Thank you.
Yes. Wow, we are taking the L on that one.
Yep, we killed Chad, too. Chad couldn't figure it out either. We broke the name Danny Trejo.
This is a deep shame for all of us. None of us came out of this looking good.
He finding the one or two seams in the geometry where Kratos will just fall straight through and not grab the edge.
I remember when PS2 emulators were first kicking off. This game and the second one in particular seemed to have weird physics bugs going on all the time, and it was literally a case of falling through the seams.
Oh, what are you doing, Kratos?
Whatever I feel like.
Basically, he's doing arm exercises while I'm trying to progress through the fucking game. This needed to be a CG cutscene. Where we get very important information
They were real.
from this essential
The gods came to
character.
me, told me their champion would come and rescue us from the Hydra. But you're too late. We're pinned down.
Why does the Hydra have
They came from
backup
nowhere.
archers?
The ships are all destroyed. All
Who are these sea
lost,
people?
Spartan. Even for you.
Oh, we hardly knew ye.
Especially considering, depending on the myth, Hydras can spit poison.
Yep.
Rip.
Bag of health. Box of health, even.
Oh, what is a box but a bag with delusions of grandeur?
I've always said that.
This doesn't know how to be a team player.
Let's try this.
They really did speed up the moving mechanics for the later games, didn't they?
Yeah, this is quite unnecessary. Especially for so early in the game.
Yeah, third game you can just move anything at full health. Makes things so much easier.
And this is why they didn't give you a ranged weapon so early on.
God knows they don't want you having fun.
Okay. Went from one safe spot to another. I should still have a hit or two. Damn it! It went right around my cover. Oh, no, you don't. It's there. We made it. That was the worst.
Carving those arrows like this was wanted or something.
Yep. Great introduction to the game. Can't believe this sort of stuff would fly in a AAA PS2 title.
Things were different back then.
Yep. I followed this game's development really, really closely, because I was a huge fan of Twisted Metal Black. I found out this game was from the same guy. But I got out my PS2 copy that we're playing right now, and it's the greatest hits version, meaning I didn't buy it on release. And I don't know why. I waited at least like a year. Quick jab, great. Climbing combat. I remember this being a pain in the ass, particularly for like horizontal ropes. You gotta climb and fight people on those.
Yeah, it basically remains the same throughout the series. I.e., a thing that you forget until you have to do it. Yeah, grabbing the guys is pretty much an instant kill.
There we go, yeah. Much more effective. Always grab. I think I might have bashed that guy into the other guy.
Yep, sometimes happens as well.
Head up there. This is where they tell you how to grab, though. So we were supposed to actually fight the enemies on that last one. At least they didn't, like, actually disable the button. Because other PS2 games would do that. Until they tell you you're not allowed to use the button.
You don't know that you can't do it until you can't do it.
Yep. Okay, he just walked himself off rather than face his fate.
I'll see ya.
We are getting severe rope burn.
Joke's on you, Kratos isn't that shit.
Indeed. Did we miss the opportunity to open that captain's quarters? Or are we gonna get the key over here?
If I remember right, you get the key off the captain's corpse.
Ah, okay. I kind of don't want the key, because that's the sex scene in there, right?
No, I think the sex scene is in the next area.
Maybe. I know it's early on in the game. Very early
Yeah,
on.
I can't remember if it's this one or one of the later ones, but you fall through, you fall from a thing, go through a couple of ceilings, and then land in a bed chamber.
Yeah. I remember it being like one of the first things you see in the game.
Kratos,
Yeah.
before you reach
I
think we
the
are.
second one gets it right out of the way.
complete. This
Glorious.
beast, this Hydra, it has terrorized my seas for far too long. Your skills are admirable, but you will need assistance. You will need the power of the gods. Take this weapon.
Fairly certain one of the cutscenes immediately after defeating the Hydra has a bit of nudity in it as well.
Right. My recollection is that it is completely avoidable, but I don't know. It's been many years.
Go forth
Yeah,
in the
I'm fairly
name
certain
of
it is.
I know it's entirely gratuitous. It's like
yeah.
Poseidon's Rage. Are you doing this? Maybe? Oh yeah, the D-pad's not working. It was like... There it is.
And leapy and spin.
Poseidon known for calling down lightning strikes. His famous thing.
Yes, in the same way that Zeus is known for creating whirlpools.
Yep.
Or if there's a way of getting infinite red orbs at that point.
Yeah, I believe it.
Or maybe it's one of the later bits. One of the sections you get infinite magic until you have to get in a spell. And if you do it correctly, enemies keep respawning, so you can just keep farming red orbs constantly.
That seems like a pretty severe oversight.
I think it's something similar present in the second game as well.
Back! Get them away from the ship! Why won't they die? It's the giant one! He keeps healing the others! No,
It actually was a little tooltip.
Get out of here! Don't!
That guy's last words were, "It's the giant one, he's healing the others," so... There we go, the Ultra Head.
Sign it. Save me.
And the captain, we can see the key around his chest. That's our real goal.
The size of his forearm.
Yeah, no kidding. He really wants us to know he's the captain, and he's got that key. Do we just go right for the central area? Apparently not. We just get knocked down.
You need to take out 2 smaller heads.
This is our damage. That's a little faster. But I don't think we get magic from anything besides those chests, so we're not going to have very much lightning.
With bosses, once you knock them down to a certain point, they usually give you back a full refill.
Ah, nice.
At least a big refill. The game balance may be all over the place, but at least they're halfway fair when it comes to like checkpoints and stuff in boss encounters.
I would say at least on normal difficulty, they want you to beat this thing.
Yeah.
It's not like Twisted Metal Black, which is impossibly difficult.
Yeah. First few times I played that, because it was the first Twisted Metal game I'd actually sat down and played properly. I was just completely at a loss as to what to do.
Yeah, it was the first one I played at all, and it did not go well.
Well,
I died in a junkyard like 100 times. Yeah, I didn't seem to be able to do anything.
You need to jump up the crates at the side.
Fair
And then
enough.
it gives you a prompt to drop the whatever the hell that thing is on him.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey. The upgrade screen. We don't have enough red orbs.
But with all the everything, you can't really do.
Yeah. That guy immediately dropped blue orbs after one use. And controller's going berserk. I'm gonna have to unplug it and plug it back in and see if that helps. First, I'll try and smash this head. I don't think dodge rolling does much of anything.
Not in combat now.
Blocking certainly does. But I'm gonna have to time your blocks.
Yeah, remember this is at a point where stuff like invincibility frames wasn't really taken into account.
I mean, Devil May Cry was out. Devil May Cry was pretty in-depth with animation canceling and iframe manipulation.
also made
stuff.
before this. I always forget.
Oh yeah, Devil May Cry came out in 2001. Long before this.
I don't know why, but I always feel like this came out first.
It kind of plays like it came out first.
Because it's way more basic.
Yeah. Jaffe himself has said Devil May Cry is the better game. He is a respecter of game development.
For all his failings, I'll give him that much.
Yep. Usually when he says stuff about game dev, he's mostly right. Unless it's about stuff that he developed himself. And even then, he's right the majority of the time.
Unfortunately, he is still one of those guys who you really get the feeling that he's just coasting on past glories.
I mean, big time.
I mean, no one remembers that one arena shooter that they came up with.
But, drawn to... I want to say drawn to death, that's not it.
I was going to say it was drawn. I was going to say Drawn to Life, but that was a really like cutesy DS game.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
We're at least thinking of the same thing.
I was Drawn to Death. Yeah.
Nice. So we just gotta wait for the bite and then bite back. Over here, big guy.
Other than that, yeah, he's kind of like the guy who peaked in high school and never really got over it.
Sorta. I recently learned something about Twisted Metal 2012, which is that it had alternate endings planned, partially designed. So I was looking that up, and most of the information for it is on David Jaffe's official blog, so I did stumble upon that. And that, of course, leads to David Jaffe's official Twitter. So I was reading a few of his most recent tweets against my will. They are a mess. That guy has, like, no consistent ideology. Because a tweet from April 19th was something about, like, capitalism only allows you to be as altruistic as your bank account, and I think that's awful.
Which is a fair point and very true.
Yeah, totally. And then, like, a few days before that, he was talking about how he was promoting a podcast he was just on with Colin Moriarty, who's like this Gamergate racist libertarian piece of shit.
Yeah. I was going to say, why do I know that name?
Yeah, he's an absolute nightmare of a human being. Yeah, like I said, like, those two things are not consistent. And they came out within, like, a week of each other. Oh. Big QTE time.
Here we go.
Only the first of many, apparently.
Oh, that's right. You need to smash the mast then.
Hitting it didn't do anything. And I got blown all the way off the deck. Let's see. Yeah, that mast ain't going anywhere. But I can reach the guy, and now he's starting to attack me again. I've done something correct.
Yeah, apparently it did actually used to be an IGN room, which is depressing.
Yeah, I mean, all the big Gamergate names had legitimacy before Gamergate.
Yeah. And then they discovered that there was far more money to be made in the right-wing grift.
Indeed. Dash him into the mast again. I believe it will become a spike,
Yep.
like unto the film Zombie. Lucio Fulci would be proud.
Except it's not going into anyone's eyeballs.
I think it might. We'll see.
If I remember right, it goes under the jaw.
Am I just supposed to get screamed off of the crow's nest here? No, I'm just supposed to wait it out. And then you just keep screaming at you if you're too far back. Oh, I was right out front there. This is meant to be tedious. For whatever reason.
RNG.
Yeah, that too.
This is a speed run you would have reset by now.
No kidding.
Don't forget the magic does a number on him if you're close enough.
Oh yeah. He's only vulnerable for a little while. You gotta hit him at least once, and then he sort of sticks in place. There we go. That is respectable compared to our pathetic blades, which are already long overdue for an upgrade. Stop with the screaming. QTE time? Yes. Get. It does require quite a lot of button mashing.
I definitely couldn't do that with my old man hands these days.
I will say, the possibly biggest influence on this game is not Devil May Cry, but Resident Evil 4. It came out the year previous, and is credited with inventing QTEs. And God of War comes along, and is all QTEs.
I mean, Shenmue came out in 2000.
Yep. Indigo Prophecy was out long before this, or Fahrenheit, as you might call it.
Still cannot stand that game.
Oh, it's awful.
Everything David Cage does needs to be thrown into a landfill.
Yeah. That shockingly is one of his best works.
Yeah.
It's only gotten worse from there.
I remember playing Fahrenheit with a bunch of friends back in the day, and we just sat in MST, 3K the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what it's good for.
It's the only thing it's good for, because it is no great shakes as a game.
Okay, yeah, it did go into his jaw.
Yeah. Oh, so.
It's predict where the enemy will be impaled. The new fun game show.
There's at least one of those kind of executions per game.
Yep.
And then the heads just explode for literally no goddamn reason.
Yep.
Someone help me!
So, who wants to go spelunking?
God help me!
You survived all this time, grasping onto the slippery throat of this creature as it was gyrating around.
Quickly, Captain, grab the uvula.
Yep. Look at the sparkly rainbow key.
So much smaller in his hands.
Yeah. Why did we come back for that key? Are we the captain now?
Look at him. He is the captain.
I think the spike might be like it's supposed to be coming out of his eye socket.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe we were both right.
Yeah.
The game compromised for us.
Fine, I'll split the difference. God, just stop arguing.
Is it back down here? Trying to press any button to let go of the rope, so I don't have to climb all the way down.
I don't think you can do that until later.
Certainly can't do it now.
I think it's the third game that's really the only... Unless I haven't really gotten into the PSP ones, but the third one's really the only one that has like really fast traversal schemes.
How much backtracking do we have to do here?
I think if you go back to where the Hydra was, it was showing you there was a couple of chests up high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely seemed wrong to come back this way. I wish they had simply not allowed it. Yep. Up. Climb up.
Go over to the right. And up in the boxes, maybe.
Couldn't hurt. There's something here. Yep. These, I think they will be converted to red orbs.
Should be, yeah.
And a Gorgon Eye. That's how it works in Devil May Cry, at least. That's how it should work here.
Okay, it doesn't. It was something that they did add in the later games.
Glorious.
Just not this one.
This probably indicates we're on the right path. There's no way we have to do this. Just keep on moving. Let them eat the other sailors.
Look, they're fat and weak. I'm stringy and full of muscle. Not gonna be any good.
Does this look delicious to you? I doubt it. Looks undercooked, if anything.
Look, he's still grey, for God's sake.
Brace yourself. Okay. Not to the nudity yet. Well, I am pretty certain we'll just be able to not see it at all.
Yeah. That's the thing with the God of War games. It's not there's no nudity, it's we're not there yet.
Yep.
Slaughtered like animals.
The nudity was like such a big selling point of the game. They talked about it so much in interviews.
A past he could never escape.
And it's 10 seconds.
Remember one of the interviews David Jaffe gave before the game came out was just basically him.
To the gods of all his hopes rested with him.
I can't remember what it was, but it was just him staring mad-eyed at the camera going, God of War is going to kick your fucking ass. It's like, step back from that edge, my friend.
Yep.
That plagued his
Sorry,
life.
kids.
Any minute now, the Twitch police is going to come down on us like a bag of hammers.
10 years ago,
Yeah. I mean, people were able to stream Cyberpunk 2077. We should probably be safe.
Oh, yeah.
These nightmares.
Also, my first stream was fucking Teosita.
Task of you, Kratos.
That was all dicks and
Greatest
tits.
challenge awaits
Oh, yeah.
in Athens. Where even now
Thing
my
is,
brother
a
Ares lays
lot of the
siege
nudity in
as we speak.
Cyberpunk
Athens is on the
completely
verge of
accidental
destruction.
because someone
It is
just
the
spawned
will
not
of
wearing
Ares
clothes.
my
Yep.
great city fall. Zeus has forbidden
I heard
the
of
gods
people's
from
genitals
waging war on each
clipping
other.
through their
That
pants.
is why it must
Yep.
be you, Kratos.
Happened to me a couple of
Only a
times.
Yep,
mortal
that's my
chosen by
excuse.
a god has a chance at
I was playing
defeating
as
Ares.
female V because
And
she's
if
got a
I
better
am able
voice
to do
actor.
this,
And
kill a god,
I went from wearing like I found some new armor.
Complete this
So I
final
went from
task,
wearing like a
and the
t-shirt and a
past that
jacket
consumes
to
you will be
wearing
forgiven.
sort of tactical
Have
vest.
faith, Kratos. The gods do
For
not
some
forget
reason,
those
when
who
I
come
equipped
to
it
their
and
aid.
unequipped it, or unequipped it and
Leaving the
re-equipped
rotting
it,
carcass of the Hydra
her
behind,
boobs just started floating
Kratos
right
set
through the
sail
front of
once
it,
more.
just clipping straight through. I
His
was like,
greatest
this is
challenge
fucking weird.
and freedom from his growing madness lay before him in the ancient
Glitch
city
core fetishist dream.
Athens.
Yeah. Just sitting there like, this better not awaken anything on me.
Yeah, we just beat the tutorial boss. You have missed nothing of any import,
Yep.
besides incredibly low
story so
resolution
far.
boobies.
Story so far, Kratos is a dickhead. The end.
Yep. That's me, folks. Yeah, the whole reason we're doing this is because it's a David Jaffe game. And I'm quite fixated on his body of work.
David Jaffe, a series of car crashes, a life.
Destroy Ares, and the gods will forgive you your past.
Literal and metaphorical if you include Twisted Metal.
Indeed. I mean, he was like something of an auteur game developer on the Twisted Metal series.
Yeah.
Like anyone who worked on that game will tell you, it is what it is because of Jaffe.
Kind of like the Steven Seagal of game design.
Sort of, but I mean, Steven Seagal was made by some weird asshole who was like, I bet I can make even that fuck up into a super movie star. As like a challenge.
Oh no, he's entirely self-made, my friend.
Indeed. Why am I fighting these things and why is it so ineffective? Oh, I can't grab these guys.
Maybe you need to block the attacks. Okay, maybe not. Thought it was one of those scenarios where if you don't do what the game tells you to, you don't get to progress.
I killed two of them. I don't think I need to fight these guys. I think I can just walk away. But we've come so far. Let's pin him down to make a pincushion out of him. Anything over here? I doubt it. More of them. I'm gonna test my theory.
Remember, a lot of the stuff here you won't be able to get in your first pass through.
Interesting.
Because you do wind up coming back here in the tail end of the game.
Right. Thank you, controller, for reminding me that I have magic powers.
Still gave you a 17 hit combo.
Yep.
You know, compared to stuff like Devil May Cry, God of War always just treated its combos as a formality. Just like, yeah, it's a thing you can do, we'll keep track of it. We might give you like an extra 2 orbs.
Yep. Yeah, you can definitely just spam whatever attack button you feel like, and eventually you'll get through. Maybe throw on a block every so often.
If you're feeling fancy.
Yep. Why did I climb back over here? Guess I was supposed to go over here. That was some bonus material.
Literal behind the scenes.
Yep. Gotta get more green orbs. I should open that. I'm at full health.
Run! Run! The beasts have taken Athens!
Have you ever heard that the red orbs in Devil May Cry are meant to be a joke about... It's inspired by Berserk.
Oh, yeah, because they look like the Bailiffs.
Yeah. So, like, the ultimate weapon of evil power in the Berserk universe is something that Dante collects like candy. Has tens of thousands of them and spends them on nothing. That's how much more powerful Dante is than Guts.
To which anyone that's even remotely familiar with Berserk goes, sure did. Now, I always kind of, well, I didn't know for a fact, but I always kind of put it together that it was probably inspired by them. Just that's never had that confirmed before. That explains a few things.
Yep. Eat by swords.
Try not to pay attention to the way that you spin towards the camera, no matter what angle you do it from.
Yep.
Always makes me laugh whenever I see that. Kratos gotta get his glamour shots.
It is a very cinematic game. And it does look really good for a 2005 game. The progressive scan helps a lot.
Yeah. Remember the PS3 ports didn't look too bad.
Yeah, I considered getting those, but I still had the PS2 version. It looks surprisingly good. Grab the
I've been
guy.
picking around with PS2 emulators a lot lately, and depends on the game, obviously, but that and the fact that they usually take a hell of a lot of dicking around with settings to do. But I've been playing Shadow Hearts Covenant on and off. That game looks amazing for a game that came out in like 2006.
I always heard good things about basically the entire Shadow Hearts series.
Oh, absolutely. The first one technically starts with Kudelka.
Yeah, Kudelka is really, really well written and well acted, surprisingly.
Oh yeah. It was one of the... It was using motion capture at a time when that just wasn't a thing.
Yep.
And the cast they all had a background in stage production. So the acting in it, I mean, even today, it's still pretty top notch.
Yep. In a time when like Sonic Adventure was the standard.
Yeah. Gameplay-wise, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Then you've got Shadow Hearts, which is really what I feel like they wanted Kudelka to be. And very serious, but, you know, has its moments of levity.
I thought it was like overburdened by a bad sense of humor in the beginning part that I saw.
Yeah, the second and third game go off on a speeding rocket to planet Wacky Land. They managed to rein it in enough for the second game that it works, you know, still works really well. The third game is just like, no, you're taking this a bit too far. Like, one of your allies is a giant pink cat who talks. And when I say giant, I mean it's the size of a human, who is a friend, advisor, and confidant to Al Capone.
Gotta love making folk heroes out of real-world villains.
Yep. And he has a friendly rivalry with Elliot Ness. Like, they're not exactly friends, but they respect each other. You know, like they did in Halo.
Oh, interesting. I was able to knock the big guy off the edge. When he got back up. Didn't matter.
Oh, no, you can't.
Check out how well-modeled that ass is, though. Suddenly playing Nightmare Creatures 2.
You know, back then they only had 15 polygons to spare to use in his Grundle.
The animations are so indulgent. This is ridiculous. And I keep screwing this up. There's only 4 buttons to work with here. At least they don't refill the guy's health when I screw this up.
Yeah. That happens in later games.
Yeah, I would imagine. But like I said, this is like the year after QTEs were officially invented.
Yeah. I'm trying not to be mad at that statement, but it's... Oh boy.
Yeah, I know. Like, it was considered revolutionary when that game made you press buttons during cutscenes.
Press button not to fail.
Yep, and it's like the worst part of the game, and I was still bought into the hype. Utterly blown away by the novelty.
I mean, I got my Dreamcast about a week and a half before they announced that they were officially ending the life of the Dreamcast. So, you know, naturally I was like, okay, well, I've got to get all these games while I still can. Because they're going to be like nowhere's going to have them in like 6 months. And Shenmue 1 and 2 were 2 of the games I absolutely had to pick up. Because of course you did. And then I played them for about 20 minutes and was like, oh, this isn't a game, this is a horrible piece of crap.
Pretty much. Despite its reputation.
Yeah.
I think the third game, the recent revival, made people realize, yeah, these were never good.
Yeah, try attacking the wooden box there.
Of course. Takes a bunch of hits, too. So even if you figure it out, you're not getting any feedback that you did it right.
Yeah.
Love it. I do struggle every time I start a game that I haven't played in a long time or have never played before. Just figuring out the language of the game. That's a huge part of starting a game. Mm-hmm. Most games are horrible at communicating what they're trying to tell you. And then they ironically get much easier once I figured that basic stuff out.
There's a game that's been doing the rounds the last month or so called Tunic, which basically explains nothing about itself and expects you to work everything out. So there's a whole load of things that you can do right from the very start of the game that the game doesn't tell you about. Yep. And Phil Fish himself turned out to be a complete prima donna.
Yeah, he's pretty intolerable as human beings go. There's the exit. Boy.
Surprise! We put the same puzzle in the room twice!
Indeed.
That's just cheating.
Yep. Although, to be fair, should have been obvious. I wonder if Something Awful still has the joke entry in the Let's Play forum for the request LP threads about how Fez 2, when it comes out, there will be a high bounty on whoever does the LP.
Now, the last LP drama was someone wanting a Pokemon ROM hack to be done. But it was the most terrible Pokemon ROM hack you can imagine.
Kratos, the gods are pleased with
and I don't mean bad as in
but your
it was
current
stupid
skills will not
or,
be enough
you know,
to
it
defeat
was
the
full
minions of
of
Ares. I offer you
OC
the power to
self-inserts.
freeze your
It was a
enemies
game
where they
in which
stand.
human women are taken
you
to a
must earn
island
such a gift.
and converted into Pokemon.
Glorious.
Yeah, it was some next level serial killer shit.
I guess there was got to be Medusa tits, no matter what I did, so...
Medusa,
Oh yeah.
the
There's no
queen of
escaping.
the Gorgons.
The Gorgons are
Bring
a
me
pretty
her
staple
head,
feature of this
Kratos,
series.
and I will give you the ability to wield its power.
think the second one you actually take out all three sisters.
Yeah, I remember that. Apparently all I remember is the second game. Which, I mean, David Jaffe did work on that one, he just didn't direct it.
Yeah, for me it's the third one.
Never played that one at all. I didn't have a PS3 until fairly recently. So I could play it. Maybe I will.
I would recommend it. I mean, one of the funniest things that they did, when I say funny, I mean for the time, was getting Kevin Sorbo to play their version of Hercules.
Yeah, it's appropriate. I don't like it. I don't want to hear Kevin Sorbo like ever again.
Oh no, it's even funnier now because he is a complete douchebag and you turn his face concave.
That's fair. I see the appeal of that.
So it works. Like back then it was just a cute, oh that's quite funny. These days it's like the subtext to this one is very funny.
I feel like they were probably doing like, our hero is even more powerful than Hercules. Look at this. My OC can beat history's OC.
Yep. That's pretty much exactly what they're doing. Because he has a big rant where he says, okay, well, you were given the honor of beating up Ares. I was cleaning out a fucking stable. And he's just this big thing about how you were always Daddy's most beloved child. I got left with all the Charlie work. And then you steal his weapons off him, which are basically a pair of gigantic brass knuckles, and pound his face in.
I bet in the PS3 version of this game, I would have just gotten an achievement called Get Head.
So you should have enough orbs to power up now.
Medusa's gaze, and the power
yeah.
of the Gorgon will be yours.
And I should probably do so, because 3 of these guys are here. Hold down L2 to aim the gaze. Press square to fire.
I think it might be this, but if you use Neptune's toilet rage or whatever the hell it is, then they keep respawning and you keep getting infinite magic.
Oh, yeah, I can see that working. This appears to be something of a gimmick. I guess I have to freeze them and then kill them?
Yeah, you freeze them and then hit them and smash.
It's a lot faster than actually fighting them.
Freeze and destroy them all with Medusa's gaze, and the power of the Gorgon will be yours.
If you stop summoning them, Athena, I'd just be able to walk out the room right now.
You're making this harder than it needs to be.
Yeah, really the gimmick here is we're checking out the Jaffe-based God of War games.
In the name of Olympus.
But if that catches on, we could go all the way to the fucking 2018 game. And the sequel that's coming out this year.
Yep. Yeah, one of the PSP ones has what's actually one of the hardest QTEs in the entire game, where you have to force your daughter to let go of your hand.
Glorious.
Go off murdering. It is hilarious in how cruel it is. And when I say hardest, I mean it goes on for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm just revisiting the series for the first time since it was new. But for now, all I promise is that we're going to do this God of War game to its completion. By we, I mean me and Static for most of it, hopefully. And Rakowski will probably join us.
Oh, I'm totally in for the long haul.
Hell yeah. There are certainly worse games you could subject yourself to.
I mean, I own most of them for the PS2.
Press F to deny your daughter's dignity.
Yeah. This is so sad. Can I get 3,000 bits in chat? Yeah, I think you need to... There's like a series of puzzles you need to do in order to open up the path to get the bolt through.
Fair enough. Hey, look at that moon. It too is pixelated. Now let's climb the ladder to nowhere. Oh, it goes somewhere.
Yeah, that moon looks like... That moon legitimately looks more like the Death Star. That is no moon, my friend.
So this is weird. I legitimately cannot grab to the right. I appear to just be able to run away, so... Good enough. To the edge. Do a jump.
Bravely bold Sir Kratos, Flippy went and ran away.
Body block the people coming over.
Your backup dancers over here, Mr. Kratos.
Oh, they're below me. I can't do much about that. Get the hell out of here. Please approach from the left so that I can grab you.
If you press down and attack, you can actually attack below you.
Yeah. I can't down grab though.
Yeah.
Grab's the only thing worth a damn.
Yeah, everything else usually takes at least half a dozen hits.
Yep. There's my dab. Checkpoints are generous though.
I think they put out a collection of all the PSP games on the PS3 as well. It was like 2 or 3 big collections before God of War 3 came out.
Yeah, I know there's a PS3 collection which has 1 and 2 and both of the PSP games.
Yeah.
Upscaled.
Finally, a parry.
Let the rage of the gods drive your blades,
To
Kratos.
press the left analog stick and right analog stick to activate Rage of the Gods. Oh, I think we just got our Devil Trigger from that upgrade.
Yeah, Devil Trigger, but worse. And that you cannot turn it off in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, perfect.
And it takes forever to refill. Not something they ever really made better in the later games, because I went through most of 2 and well, I played a little bit of 2, barely, but 3 I barely used it except for when they made you.
Yeah, that's a good sign when you don't want to do the Devil Trigger equivalent.
Yeah. I said, just because it takes so fucking long to refill.
I want to get above me. I can grab you if you're above me. You'll learn your mistake soon enough.
Don't make me look up your tunic.
It's a hell of a threat.
Threat? Oh, no, I'm talking a promise.
Glorified little auto scroller here.
But the most recent of the, aside from Dad's War, the most recent one I played was the third one. Because they had it on sale on PSN before Dad's War came out. Got it for £3 or £4, I think it was. But it is so much faster than this, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I would imagine. R2, what does that do? Tapping a shoulder button is always fun. Our fingers are definitely positioned in a way that makes that natural. As
Still
human
better than
beings.
trying to do it on a PS3 controller.
That's true.
With those squishy triggers.
Yeah.
Somewhere an archaeologist is crying.
Yep. I'm sure those PS3 controllers are like pressure sensitive. Because they have a lot of movement.
Yep. PS2 had all the face buttons analog as well, to a certain degree, pressure sensitive. But the PS3 was the first one to have analog L2 and R2 triggers. And they were so poorly designed, it wasn't even funny.
Yeah. I mean, Devil May Cry, the taunt that you did was based on how hard you pulled the shoulder button. So one of them must have been pressure sensitive.
Yeah, probably.
No idea which one.
Yeah, I remember the face buttons being pressure sensitive was a big deal at the time.
Yeah.
And then like 3 games used it.
Yep. Recent
And one of
PlayStation
them,
controllers
of
don't do
course,
that.
was Metal Gear Solid 2.
I mean, if it's a gimmick, Kojima's gonna play with it.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Had to try. And they can free one another from being bad, it looks like.
I think. Remember, I was sure that if you were in the QTE zone, then you were, safe.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like. These look like canned animations.
It's pretty much the same for every other QTE in the game. As long as you don't fuck it up, you should be invincible. Or maybe it's just that the enemies are, kind enough to stay away from you.
Yeah. That was certainly the norm in PS2 games. If you're in a canned animation, you cannot be harmed.
Because it was just too much hassle trying to work out what would happen next.
Yeah.
Look, destructible environment.
Maybe there is like a parry mechanic.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's level 2 or level 3 of the blades to get the parry.
Yeah, sometimes when I block, it causes a little slowdown effect and has a little sound effect, indicating that I'm doing more than just block.
I think it's the second game that really goes all in with the parry, because you get the golden fleece.
Ah, yes. Once again, everything I remember about this series was the second game. I'm starting to think the first game is a tutorial for the second game.
Basically what I was going to say, the first game is like, okay, let's get these ideas out, and the second one is like, okay, let's refine them.
Oh, killed that one without the QTE. Should probably do that more often because it's faster. And it looks like once you start a combo, then the circle button will become another attack in that combo. So that might be useful to play around with.
If you kill an enemy with QT, all it really does is just give you bonus ore.
Yeah.
So
Except the Gorgons give me magic,
Yeah.
and the Minotaurs give me health back. And these guys give me nothing.
If you really can't be bothered with all that malarkey, then just keep hammering them.
I do have to kill them. Had to know. Okay, now that was wasting my time. Maybe stun lock them all. My slightly improved blades seem to be so much more effective at cutting through these mildly armored zombies.
Should be able to upgrade some of your magic at this point. Remember the first few upgrades being pretty cheap for everything?
I think I saw the Medusa was like 3,000. I don't have anywhere near.
Oh, that's right. It's not like Yakuza. The Yakuza series, every bar was like 1,008 experience.
Yeah. What are the odds more zombies are going to spawn once I get on this rope? There they are.
Oh, come on, what? But barely any chance.
And the camera change turned to a fixed camera, which caused me to start going the wrong way.
Yep, that's a PS2 game.
Yep. Love it. So indulgent, that animation. So long.
Kratos with these thighs of steel.
Indeed. Okay, he
Big
grabbed me
guys
instead.
save lives, but in his case, they end them too.
They're multi-purpose.
Calls it his guillotines. Not sure why. I think the heavy attack on the rope should hit multiple enemies at once.
Better, but not fast enough. This section sucks. Just crossing this rope.
Yep.
Total nightmare. I was grabbing enemies there, but they were slightly outside of my range, and I literally could not approach them any further. Like, they have an invisible aura around them. And it's outside of the grab range.
Yeah, these days character action games are more than art. And it was the impressionist art.
Yep. This game is clearly all about spectacle.
Oh yeah.
Like, not what's fun, not what would be good for the game. What would look kind of cool for a couple of seconds. Do that.
And remember, the second game opens with you beating up the Colossus of Rhodes.
Yep. That's at least a cool idea. I forget how well it's executed. Okay, something's happening behind me? Below me? With a lot of banging involved.
Not touching that one.
In-game, I assure you.
I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying you might want to move.
You're not wrong. Oh, I thought it was starting a cutscene, so I was just standing there. But I'm on the other side of that door. This we've been. There's the moon. So that was all to go around in a big circle. What did we accomplish?
Go back to the ballista.
Oh, right, because I opened the door. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Grab the ladder. At least we got to see the sliding down the ladder animation.
Yeah, Kratos invented sliding down ladders.
Looks like it. Because this is ancient Greece, so you show me a protagonist who did this at an earlier point in history, I'll show you a liar.
Don't say the Epic of Gilgamesh, because ladders didn't exist back then. Should be able to use the ballista on them again.
Yep.
For
Shoot 'em all.
like an easy kill.
Line up, fellas.
Yeah. Won't take out multiple ones at once, but it'll save you a lot of time.
Yeah, be nice if it did. Would have saved us much more time.
Third game has you taking on an armored Minotaur, which has a ballista which uses molten, like burning tree trunks, tipped with molten steel on them. It's fucking bizarre. You're
They're going for
minding
it.
your own business, and then all of a sudden there's this fucking steampunk zombie cyborg Minotaur just shows up out of nowhere.
We did find a mildly steampunk guy who had like a cyber disco ball for an arm.
Hmm.
This looks very nice. And then a downgrade for the CG.
Do not
Is that-
fear, Kratos.
Why is
I am
Athena
the
topless, of all
Oracle
people?
Athens, here to help you defeat Ares.
Oh yeah.
Find my temple to the east, and I will show you.
Second game, she remembers to put on a breastplate.
Yeah. I mean, that might not have been Athena, but I think that was. She said her name and I missed it.
Oh no, wait, that might be. There's a prophetess or a seeress or something that you keep seeing throughout the game.
Yeah.
Where's like the outfit she's wearing, sort of like green see-through silk. It's like Oracle. That's it.
There we go.
Athenian Oracle or something.
Who'd have guessed? If a character is vaguely transparent, their name is probably the Oracle. I think Ares is eating dirt right now.
He just looks like a gigantic action figure.
Yeah, that is a very
I
silly
don't
character.
mean that as a compliment.
Like his red hair looks orange, and it looks like, yeah, very silly from a distance.
Yeah.
Looks fine there.
God of war. I haven't forgotten you. For what you did.
Probably because the cutscenes have it as just like flat, whereas in game they try and give it a sort of smoldering fire effect, which just looks really silly.
Why did they do that? That looks terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't do it in the cutscene, so it's not even consistent. Oh, they really let you go the wrong way for a super long time.
Yeah.
Without any indication. What are these things? Armored Minotaurs, maybe? They certainly have bigger hammers. And I don't have any magic.
Special ops Minotaurs.
Okay, I need the magic though, because I need them to become a statue on the button. He's so resistant to standing on the button. Finally. Just barely made it. Because Kratos didn't want to go through the gate. I tried to dig him out. But they're full of green orbs, so...
You don't have to murder the innocents.
You've
You
never played a
can.
David Jaffe game.
Hell, one of the games has you go to Elysium and beat up all the souls of the dead. It's just consistent.
I wonder if there's anything in these houses. Yeah, there is. Look at that.
Yeah, there's one or two that have stuff in them. I think there's one where you need to batter down the door.
Yep, that one worked. Another one here, maybe a Gorgon Eye. Yep. One away from a full health increase.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was the same in all games, but usually they would do it so that you would find a health pickup and then a magic pickup alternately. So
Been a few spots where I've only gotten the one health pickup.
Yeah.
So I might have just
Might be
missed
something they. It might just be something they did in later games.
Or jump in here. Actually, there's chests in almost every house. Presumably, they're mostly optional. I'm sure progress is around here somewhere.
We'll get to it eventually.
No indication that that was working. But I just had to keep at it. Trust the blades. Oh, I didn't need that crate. I am Kratos after all.
But a
Fan of crates.
I'm pretty sure his name, translated from Greek, means power of crate.
God of crates.
Lord of the box.
The original crate fucker.
Now there's going back.
Fucking wrote that into a script. And then made me have to come up with a visual for crate fucker.
Originally, I was going to have it as box fucker, but I thought that might be a bit too obvious. Whereas crate fucker just sounds, more weird.
It certainly was. Grant you that. Someone in the YouTube comments actually pointed out that was a especially hilarious turn of phrase. Oh, I got broke.
Yeah, probably just a way for you to
great.
get back up.
This is where the tooltip shows up. Look at this.
Oh, that's helpful.
After you jump and figure it all out, then you get the tooltip telling you what to do.
Definitely doesn't help that the textures were so muddy back then. Make the damn thing glow.
Seriously. Okay. I thought I did that right. Game thinks otherwise.
You need to you need to let go on the upswing rather than the highest point of the arc.
Yeah. Nope. I got it. It's just a matter of double jumping.
Ah, okay. Also, cute the way the Medusa's eye beams follow you while you're swinging.
Yep. God, I could double jump. Seemed like momentum should have carried me. But no.
Later games are much better about that as well. Where one rope swing can literally catapult you across half a level.
Yeah. Camera highlighting that door, even though it's nothing.
Please notice this door. It has low self-esteem.
This is certainly very cool. Having all the people wandering around.
Yeah, for the time, this was like a really big deal.
Yeah. Naked ogre.
The loving detail put into the butt cheeks of the ogre.
Indeed. They really took a page out of Nightmare Creatures too. It's all tits and asses in this game.
Thing is, well, if you remember when you complete the game, you unlock sort of like a gallery mode, which lets you examine them in detail.
Nice. Zoom right into those cheeks.
Zoom so close you can clap them. Wait, no, not like that. Fun fact, the ogres were actually modeled after Jaffe himself. Not short-sighted. No vision. Singular vision.
Oh, great, another one. At least they didn't team up. There they are, there's the team. Famous last words.
Yeah.
If you ever say at least, it's about to happen.
That's one thing I hated about the God of War series, was they would introduce a new enemy and you would, spend like the next 5 minutes learning how to fight it, and then they would throw two at you.
Yep. Ah, Cyclopses. You can hardly tell because their faces are so not focal.
Yeah.
They should have put their one eye between the butt cheeks and then we would have noticed.
I mean, the camera loves those butt cheeks.
Stay away! Don't come near me!
I am Kratos and I will respect your wishes.
Dude, she's not into you.
Stay back! Keep away from me!
Yes, that's right. The Cyclopses were originally, in fact, most of the creatures in this were designed to be anatomically correct.
Yeah, I believe it.
Which causes some problems in later games when they introduce the centaurs. Just gonna leave it at that. Allegedly, there were discussions that were held as to what kind of genitalia they would have.
I know who you are! I know what
Should they implement the
allegedly, because this is just like a story that I heard, but
Get away from me!
apparently there were discussions as to whether it would be half horse, half human, all horse, all human. And then eventually someone came in and said, "What the fuck are you people talking about? Get back to work."
Didn't Red Dead Redemption 2 have, like, horse balls that would realistically grow and shrink in the heat?
Yep, horse testicles will react to the ambient temperature. So the game starts off with you going through a snowstorm, and apparently the equine scrotums behave as they would on a real horse, which must have been a fun day for Q&A.
As usual, Jaffe was ahead of the curve. If only he had been able to implement his horseball dreams. Okay, back where we were. Use the key, yes or no. Thank you for the very valuable prompt.
Just feeling like I'm going to dick around here for the next 6 hours. Yeah, that was another thing that the game was praised for, was the fact that there's basically no loading in it.
Yeah, as an overall experience, this is certainly a thing.
Yeah, you'll see maybe a split second of a loading screen, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Even going between game and cutscene.
Yeah, surprisingly smooth. Okay, another spot where I can't do anything. Love these. They can't be harmed. Why did they lead me here? Oh, the moss texture.
I was going to say, it's not another thing where they intend you to go completely the opposite direction with.
Yep. Hold back on the left analog stick. Okay, that does work.
Yeah, I remember some of the games that got really finicky when it was trying to get you to do that. If you weren't in just the right spot where it was notice you were trying to go backwards, you would just start climbing down.
Yeah. Yeah, my controller's still giving me problems, so sometimes I just am going down. Despite my best efforts. I am going to buy a replacement PS2 controller immediately.
Yeah, still really expensive for a console that's 20 years old.
Please go through the door, Kratos.
Funnily enough, when I was playing the third game on PS4, my controller started crapping out on me. So I would be going to make an easy double jump, and he would just beef it and stop mid-air and just go straight down.
Yep.
Damn it.
I know the feeling.
Oh, these guys.
Yeah, I remember these being especially awful.
Yep.
Lock them all in the corner. Spell them to death. There's a whole, like, air grab system, but...
Yeah.
There it is. Just like other grabs, it kills them. It's a grab, so they die.
Yeah, the later games really love putting the effort into the air combos when 90% of the time they don't actually make much more of a difference.
It's an opportunity for additional violent animations.
Yeah.
It's like less violent than many of the other ones. Like that. Doesn't top that. Okay, bottom floor. It's almost clear, they just keep coming. They're trying to prove a point. Yep, there's another one.
Archers are always
Perfect.
relatively easy to take care of.
It's true, they do have a lot less HP.
I think one of the early concepts for the archers was that they were going to be Amazons.
Ah.
Which, on the one hand, would have been nice, and the other probably just used as an excuse for more gratuitous.
Yep.
But just one.
Will hit each other unintentionally, but gets the job done.
It's not quite Doom, is it?
No such luck. Fixed cameras are not very good. Like, that was everyone's big complaint about Devil May Cry. And this game, all these years later, also has fixed cameras, surprisingly.
I think they were probably more concerned with making a good game than innovating, which means that stuff like the camera gets left in the dust.
Seems like it. I mean, it's like cinematic camera. So they might even have wanted to be able to control it rather than allow the player to do so. So that everything's as cinematic as can be.
Agree in every context but one, and that's Resident Evil. I will also see you Silent Hill, which is one famous camera angle right at the beginning of the game to break it up. You know the one. So good they used it in the movie.
Finally. Just one ogre, which means another one's about to appear.
Yep.
There was another one of these guys, it turns out.
Yeah, dropping out the sky like there was air support up there.
I'm like, why does Kratos keep putting them in the sky and then not doing anything about it? That punt is totally useless.
Just taking them up into orbit until they eventually decide to come down and ruin even lunge.
Yep. Just really proving a point. I can make you go really high into the sky. You wouldn't like it if I did so. Doors open. I feel like we're close to the end of the Athens section.
I don't know, because I remember there's a whole lot of bullshit you need to do with the Oracle.
Possibly.
I don't think you've got into the Great Digger as well yet.
Yeah, so I guess next time we hit a save point, we will wrap up this attempt at the game.
Should be one relatively close.
Yeah.
There's usually one after every really big encounter.
Yep. Okay, thank you, Kratos.
Oh, I remember this bit. This bit took me a while.
Glorious.
The really annoying thing as well is that they're staggered. It's not that you can wait for all of them to fire and then do the jump.
Yeah, exactly. They're basically constantly firing. That was pure luck that I didn't get hit there. Will I get the pure luck the second time?
That door that you're mentioning is unbreakable.
Yeah, I went up to that door. Nothing happened. Take some magic. And I do see save point.
Yay!
Yep. That is our first session through this game. Welcome back to God of War. As always, tell me if I need to fuck with audio levels. But I think I got them balanced. I was paying attention. Your mic did briefly go into the red, despite all our testing. But I think I have it right now.
Yeah.
And if not, the viewers should yell at me. They better yell at me. Please yell at me.
Please, we crave engagement.
Indeed. Even negative engagement. That was a dangerous precedent to set, actually. On a Twitch platform.
We didn't know how to deal with being popular, and we started talking about horse testicles. It all went wrong.
Indeed. Here come the hate raids. And here we are in worlds previously unseen.
Yeah. So, as I recall, we are still in Athens making our way to some oracle who's going to tell us how to fuck up the god of war.
That seems to be the plan. Athena said, go find the oracle. And then the oracle teleported to us, all topless-like. And, but it was only her ghost. We need to find her physical body somewhere.
Yeah. But she wasn't topless, she was wearing a see-through green toga thing.
Exactly. Functionally
I think
topless.
diaphanous is the word.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it seems right. Feels right.
That would explain a line from Super Ego that I always quoted, but never fully understood.
Which one?
Won't you look at my clammy, diaphanous hands? Whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, that makes zero sense in that context. The one I always remember is Sam Elliott saying Heinz's bullshit is new ketchup in town.
Elephant ketchup.
Elephant ketchup. No, don't say it.
This is an irritating little secret.
Yeah, and you don't have any... Yeah, by the time you actually get it open for the health, you're gonna... I think maybe you're supposed to go over there, take care of them, then backtrack.
You would think, but this is like a secret side area. You can't reach it. Like that platform they're on seems impossible to reach. Whatever.
Oh well.
Indeed, it's totally pointless. Nothing but red
orbs. By the time you
orbs.
actually open the chests for health, it would be completely meaningless.
Yeah, it would attract its own use. These enemies are entirely optional.
Oh, fun.
Sort of. I don't like fighting the Minotaurs, quite honestly.
Yeah. At least it's not the fire-breathing ones yet.
Indeed.
Those guys are a pain in the ass.
Hopefully that was the last harpy, because I'm about sick of them too. That's not the R2 button.
I must get across. Release the...
Oh, I remember this bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think this might actually be where you get its use as thunderbolts, so you should be able to go back to get those chests.
Interesting, yeah, if that's the case, then that would make sense, and I would be happy about it. And coming out this way was pointless. There's a different path we were meant to take. This is entirely optional at the moment.
Yeah.
But they don't tell you that. You just are supposed to wander and then backtrack after opening up a little
shortcut. The
shortcut.
God of War games is that typically you go with the old maxim of there's enemies there, so that's the right way, so I'm going to go everywhere else.
Yeah.
But there's enemies everywhere.
Exactly. They do put enemies on the incorrect path as well. Fuckers.
And a lot of the time the areas, well, especially in the later games, the areas are so vast, you wind up forgetting that there was a side path there anyway, and accidentally wander into story.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what tended to happen with me.
Yeah, so far I have exclusively done the opposite, but what you've described definitely does happen as well.
Yeah.
Looking for secrets, you're gonna find the plot. Despite your best efforts. It does make getting 100% very irritating.
Yeah, I think I only ever got 100% in the third game. And that's primarily because the health upgrades and magic upgrades and that, there's so many additional ones on top of the... Like, I think you need to get like 12 or 15 of each in order to max out your bars. And there's something like 30 in the game.
Boy.
So once you've collected them all, those chests just hold red orbs. Whereas in the older games, they were a lot more stingy about it. Like, there were extras, but not as many.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, this game has unlockables based on getting every chest, including, like, health chests and mana chests, and stuff that are, like,
right.
Yeah, temporary consumables that you may or may not need when you find them. You are still required to open them in order to get secrets and stuff.
Yeah, I remember there's, 10, 12 different costumes you can wear, which all have different effects.
Yeah, something like that.
Like the businessman outfit, the fish outfit, nicknamed Cod of War. I think there's a cow one as well.
Yeah, there's a fuck ton of those. The Something Awful Let's Play went out of their way to show off as many of those as possible.
Yeah. Kind of disposed with them in the later games, sadly. I think they forgot that they had anything to do with having a sense of humour.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in the PSP games.
I think by the time stuff like Ascension came around, they were being developed by a different team or a B team.
Yeah, the crew working on God of War has changed dramatically over the years.
Yeah, and then the newest team working on them. Man, they wouldn't know comedy if it came up and ripped their spines out. So po-faced, it's unreal.
Yep. Funny thing is, the latest God of War, the whole revival Norse god series, is directed by Cory Balrog.
No, I always go to call him Balrog as well because it makes more sense.
He wishes his name was Cory Balrog.
I'm Cory, Lord of the Balrogs.
Indeed. Cory Barlog was art director on God of War 1, the game we're playing now. And he was promoted to full director in God of War 2 when David Jaffe stepped down.
Hell of a promotion.
Indeed. And since then, he's been like the lead guy in the series. But there are certainly games in the series which he was barely, if at all, involved with.
Yeah, fairly certain the side games and the spin-offs were all done by B Team.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine.
I think maybe the first one had some involvement with the more mainstream devs, because it's, you know, first game on a new platform. They want to make sure it's as big as it can be. But after that, I think it was just mostly like if they were involved, it was as a creative consultant.
Yeah. I mean, I know Jaffe hasn't had his name on a single game in the series since God of War 2. He was creative director on the second game, then just completely absent since then.
Yeah. God, I forgot how long this puzzle takes.
Oh yeah, this one's a nightmare. And, like, figuring it out is also kind of bullshit. Having to drag this thing all the way from a different room. Slowly.
See, that I don't mind as much as the fact that you have to take it off the spinny platform every time.
Yep. So many slow animations. Turn it, then move it, then turn it.
Like, that is just straight up bullshit.
Clearly not intended with player enjoyment.
No. I think I've been... every so often I'll go back and I'll play old PS1 and 2 RPGs. And what always strikes me that I've forgotten is that, like, especially in the PS1 era, they were doing all sorts of, like, really slow, but for the time, flashy animations. And the game, it winds up feeling like the game doesn't respect your time. The original Persona's really bad for that because you cannot speed up the animations at all, and they take forever.
Yeah. Like, load times are bad enough. You would think you'd want to actually get the gameplay rolling as quickly as possible, but no.
So, as I said, as a result, it just feels like the game's just straight up disrespecting you. Like, no, you're here on my time, buddy.
Yep. I had to replay this whole game up to the point where we finished the first session because we're on emulator now. My PS2 controller is completely crapped out. So, we took about an hour and a half, closer to 2 hours, to get to the same point that we started this run on. And it took me over an hour to get to that same spot, knowing exactly what to do, barely dying at all.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's all slow animations and unskippable cutscenes. Well, total bullshit.
Go with the gods. Go forth in the name of Olympus.
I think that's one of the big name voice actors for Zeus, right?
Paul Eiding, yep.
Yes.
Known as Colonel Campbell from Metal Gear Solid.
Indeed, that's why I recognized it.
Also, one of the basic, we need a good voice for a game or a TV show from pretty much the early 90s onwards.
Yep. He does have a very good voice, a lot of gravitas.
Oh, yeah. You want someone who can deliver absolutely batshit dialogue with a proper degree of gravitas? There you got it.
Okay. Press the directional button down and press L2 to fire. Yep. Now we can return fire against the archers.
Yeah. I knew you got pretty much all your spells really early.
That's nice, at least.
And then you're basically stuck using the Blades of Chaos for a good chunk of the game before they give you anything else.
Yeah, I remember there is at least one, sword in this game. I think that's it, right?
I think so, yeah. You get, there's a Athena's sword? Looks like a big, pointy lightning bolt.
Yeah, I remember something very large and very blue.
Yeah, bluey purple.
Yeah. Doing a lot of damage, but having very slow animations. This was just a little secret area. Clearly we're supposed to go back and murder the coward.
Don't forget the secret area.
Oh yeah, we do gotta get that as well. Now that we can snipe our way through it. Oh, we should probably fight these wraiths, right?
Might be helpful. Or
disagree.
Coward!
Optional wraith fights. Who do you think I am, God of War? Think I'm made of time?
Now look, do you want cinematic camera angles, or do you want to know how to play the damn game? Because you're only getting one.
Indeed. But the thing is, they do throw a lot of tutorials at you. There are constant tooltips that stop the flow of the game dead in its tracks. And they're all like, press the square button to swing your attack button thing. Like really, really basic shit. Jump towards the rope to grab the rope.
So I was trying to explain to someone the other day that, a lot of these things do feel incredibly unnecessary, but you have to remember that every game may be someone's first game.
Yep.
But by the same token, you can probably assume they know that moving forward on the stick means you go forward.
Except when it doesn't, which on the rope it sort of didn't. I actually did have to move backward in order to get the rope to swing in the right direction.
Or if you're playing a survival horror game, in which case it's kind of a crapshoot.
Damn. Wilhelm scream.
Wilhelm scream.
Classic. That actually made it into the Twisted Metal series, the same month as God of War.
Oh, wow.
Twisted Metal Head On came out 2 days after God of War, which is so weirdly specific that it seems like a mistake. Like, at the time, video games always came out on Fridays. Or like Tuesdays, I think.
Tuesdays and Fridays are traditionally the big release dates, yeah.
Yeah. So why would they have been released 2 days apart? If anything, they would have been released 3 days apart.
And besides which, you know, those were the two big game releases on the PS2 at that time.
Yeah, I mean,
It feels like you're cannibalizing your sales.
Well, Head On was on the PSP at the time. PSP launch title. It was quite a while before it came to the PS2.
Yeah. But, I mean, the Twisted Metal name wasn't Poison back then. I remember, I don't believe the PS2 version never came out in Europe. But there was a lot of people at the time who were still looking forward to it because Black had, you know, even in the GIMP version that we got, it still had a lot of fans over here.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people over here didn't even know that the cutscenes were removed, simply because, you know, no one was talking about that. We didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they advertised the censored version.
See, the version that you're only allowed to see because we're cowards, really.
Enjoy objectively worse storytelling.
What storytelling?
Exactly.
Now, what you do is you say it's not been censored, it's been streamlined for the purest experience possible.
Oracle!
Kratos! Praise Athena, you've arrived! Ah!
All this time to save her, she immediately gets blown up.
Kratos! Kratos!
Oh, this bit.
Athens depends
Her
on
hanging off a statue, screaming for her life.
Glorious.
With the most annoying voice this side of Ashley from Resident Evil 4.
Oh, let's do this real quick. We got a random citizen running around. Let's be altruistic. The way only Kratos can.
To Elysium you go.
Yep.
Seeing God of War 3.
Executions on random citizens. Such an
Classic of the
anti-hero.
series.
Yep. That was weird. They grabbed onto the edge twice.
Yeah, it seemed like you were kind of floating for a minute there.
Yep. Probably don't have to fight these guys. You can skip a tremendous amount of the combat in this game, surprisingly.
Yeah. I think the speedruns of this game are somewhere in the region of about 3 hours.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine. Yeah, that's true. Just impaling a guy 3 times with your giant blades. That's kind of a nice move for Kratos.
I mean, the one that always springs to mind for me is the Poseidon Princess in the 3rd game, where he takes this incredibly frail woman and has her hold up a giant wheel so he can get through a gate. And then once he gets through it, you just hear a crack, a splutch noise, and yeah. Next time you go through, there's just a big pool of blood where she used to be.
That's just the off-screen passive violence.
Yeah.
Which is actually more disturbing because you can't render the true horror of real-world violence, but you can certainly put it in a person's imagination very, very effectively.
Yeah, there's a story for back in the 1940s, I think it was, when radio dramas were really popular in the States. And there was some kind of, I think it was around about the time Seduction of the Innocent came out, saying that horror comics were making America's youth more depraved. And they said that radio dramas were just every bit as bad. So they get in one of the effects guy, and they're like, okay, play this sound. And it's like sounds like a wet crunching noise. And they're like, okay, you say that that's the sound of someone's head being hit by a hammer. It's not. It's me hitting a bag of celery.
Yeah, exactly. You're the sicko.
Yep. The noise of someone getting stabbed? No, it's just me stabbing a big sack of ham. Like, when you see what's actually going on, it's as far from horrifying as you can imagine.
Yep, the grisly reality of Foley.
Yep. But, once you put it into someone's head that, this is the sound of bones being broken, that's all they can think of.
Yeah. Also on the subject of grisly off-screen implied violence being more disturbing, we never got to my favorite part of Charlie Murder, and we certainly won't because the online is so busted. So I might as well spoil it. There's a segment where you walk into a campground, and you immediately find like tabs of acid or some kind of hallucinogenic drug on a picnic table, and every member of the band takes a tab. And then you go through like a psychedelic wonder world where you have unlimited shotguns, and like every time you drop a shotgun or run out of ammo, it immediately spawns back in your hand. So you're unbelievably powerful. You just destroy everything in your way effortlessly. It's a really, really fun segment. Then you get to the end, you get a unique trinket that is required for the secret ending. But then you have to walk back through the camp, and your drug trip is worn off, and there are no enemies. There's nothing moving at all. But all along the trees are impaled human corpses. Like viciously impaled too. Like someone grabbed them at the top of a tree and dragged them down bodily through the bottom of the tree. Viscera and body parts everywhere.
At this point, she's more Douglas fir than woman.
Yep. It's the most violent part of the game, and you do it to human victims who are completely unrelated to the plot.
Which is weird because we were using shotguns. I'm not sure how that happened.
Yeah. But obviously the shotguns are hallucinatory. You are not actually manifesting real-world shotguns.
Yeah, and the fact that we find that hilarious probably should be quite worrying.
Indeed.
Good. Athena has chosen wisely.
Oh, Paul Lighting again.
Yep. It is implied that this guy is actually Zeus.
Yeah, that would make sense.
You are the one
Otherwise, that is a distracting double casting.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, back then, it wasn't uncommon for voice actors to take 2 or 3 big roles in any production, which wound up being why the big twist about Master Miller and Metal Gear was so effective at the time.
My son. Oh, I've got a lot of.
It winds up. It starts off as what you think is like a budget restriction, and they wind up twisting it to be a fairly effective reveal.
Yeah, and we just played Twisted Metal Black earlier this week, and the same voice actor as Sweet Tooth voices Crazy 8's driver, No Face. And at the end of the game, it's revealed that all the characters are manifestations of Sweet Tooth's twisted psyche.
Yep.
So perhaps that was meant to be an implication there, because No Face does narrate the game's manual and is sort of like the de facto perspective on the game.
Hesitate to say protagonist, but
yeah, he's more likable than the others. That's for sure.
Well, it's really between him and the goth girl.
Yeah.
Because, yes, she's murdering people left and right, but, she's got a fairly decent excuse for it.
Yeah, I remember in the LP, I think Dollface and Raven ended up being among the more likable characters among the viewership.
Don't disturb me now, son. I've got my work to do.
I forget, is it head-on that you find out that Dollface's mask is actually crushing her skull?
It is technically head-on. It's the Twisted Metal Lost segment there in head-on. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing that and being like, okay, that's actually really creepy and scary.
Yep. Losing her mind because her brain can't grow properly.
Although it does bring up certain implications, because you get the impression in the first game she was, early 20s or so. And with that, it's like, oh no, apparently she was actually 12.
Yeah, exactly. Like, your brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25, but your skull certainly does.
Yeah. You kind of stop, your skull stops growing by about the time you're 15 or 16.
Yeah. It's one of those things that is disturbing despite lack of, real world logic.
Yeah. It's horrifying until you think about it.
Yep. Which is common in the EC Comics style of crap that they were doing at the time.
Yeah. A lot of that stuff was always more about the final image than, consistency or anything.
Exactly. The number of Tales from the Crypt episodes that simply could not happen, but were creepy anyway, are all of them.
Or stuff like Creepshow. I need to rewatch those movies, they were really good.
I've only seen the first one. I have heard the second one was a worthy successor, though.
Yeah. See, I've got a real soft spot for those kind of anthology movies. I keep meaning to go and have a marathon of them at some point. But I think back to the last time I did, and I got through about 2 movies and was like, I feel like I've watched about 17. So I think with the harpies, if you use Medusa's gaze on them,
oh yeah, they fall,
and you get extra orbs for it.
That's worth a shot. Oh yeah, that kills them ridiculously fast.
Yep, pretty much instantly, and you get 30 extra each time.
Nice.
And I think that increases as you fight the more powerful ones.
I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to be fighting the harpies, but there doesn't seem to be anything else to do, so...
Oh, that's right. You need to use the statues to plug up the holes they're coming from.
Ah, that makes a certain amount of sense.
Yeah,
not a ton of sense.
Every time you kill a wave, you've got maybe 5 or 6 seconds before more spawn.
Okay, the statues do
it's
probably...
annoying as hell.
That's so silly, though, that the statues don't, flop over when you take them over the edge like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are 1,000 movies that I have been meaning to watch and should watch and never have and may never watch.
Yeah, I joke that I don't have a backlog so much as I have a big scary room that hungers for attention. Every so often I'll open it up and toss a couple of DVDs in.
Yeah.
Hope that I can make for the exit before it devours me. But,
I was just thinking about how I should watch that movie, House, the Japanese House.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know the one.
Yep.
It's one that I haven't seen. But I know its reputation.
Yeah.
And I need to get the t-shirt based on the poster. Because the poster's like the big orange scary cat.
Yeah, like a cat face. Very stylized.
Yeah. There's a T-shirt which I've seen of that, except rather than saying house it or house, it says Garfield.
Yeah, I've had that movie on my Amazon wishlist since high school.
Yep. Sounds about right. I literally have DVDs I bought like 20 years ago that I've never actually watched.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar boat.
Also, it's depressing that I have DVDs that I bought 20 years ago. My god. Oh boy, this bit's gonna be fun.
Yep. Like, in Dark Souls, you could just walk across these, no problem. But Kratos has to put his arms out and do a little tightrope act.
He has to wobble back and forth like he's a fucking inflatable thing.
Yep. He might be drunk. And of course we can't stand on that. Why would we be able to? Keep that in mind. If we ever end up on if we ever stand on like a 15-degree incline in this entire game, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, this game does not like you going up anything that isn't stairs or a horizontal surface.
Yeah. It has a very specific series of inputs in mind. Like, you could practically task this game, like write a script whereby the same thing would happen every single time, because it's so deterministic.
Yep, you'd really only need to take over for the combat sections.
Yeah.
Everything else, though, it's like it's standing over your shoulder saying, this is the way we have fun, and it is the only way we have fun.
Yep. Are you trying to go left? No! Don't even think about doing that. Bad player.
And if you so much as think about jumping here, swear to God, I'll work.
I definitely don't have to kill these guys. But they're naked, they don't have any armor, so I can just grab them easily.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically free orbs.
Yep. But they might be infinite spawning.
You should have enough to upgrade something there.
Probably, yeah. I've got 12 bars, so... yep.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Tons. Takes long enough. Gotta dump so much blood into this thing.
I think my first time through, I really only upgraded the Blades of Chaos, the sword, and the Medusa power. They just wreck everything by themselves.
Yeah. Apparently we have a parry attack now. Hades' Revenge.
Okay. While in Hades Reverse parry mode.
Yeah. Let's see if we can... It's a pretty small window. First to get the parry, and then... That was just an attack.
Yeah.
There's no reason for that to be a parry.
Yeah, it's not really until the second and third games that you get a parry actually worth a damn. Mainly because the window for it's, reasonable.
Yeah, I guess previously we just sort of were stunned for half a second when we did a successful parry. Now we can actually take advantage of it, deal a little extra damage. Kinda pointless, though.
Kratos! Help me! Help me! Kratos! Hurry!
Yeah, of course, there's the game Shadow of Rome. If you want to really be disgusted by forced stealth segments.
Oh, God. That game, half the game is good, the other half is insufferable.
Yep. I should stream that one as well.
Yeah, it's one of those games I keep wanting to go back every so often, because the combat is just ridiculous and so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I remember what you need to do, and I stopped wanting to have fun.
Where should I put these statues?
Is this the bit where you need to put it under them? No. She's overlapping herself.
Yep, she's that scared.
I think it was Onimusha 3 as well had some really annoying stealth sections. Or maybe the second one.
Maybe, yeah. I never played any of those.
Now, one of the Onimusha games, I'm sure, had really, really bad stealth sections that brought the game to a grinding halt for me.
Okay, where the hell? Oh, we should probably pull this to be under her somehow.
Don't think so.
Weird. Then we should probably open this chest.
Bit, but it's probably a later bit where you need to put pillars like that underneath those kind of spinny platforms.
Ah, yeah.
Thought it might be that bit that we were at.
Yep.
No.
So now we're gonna need to move the statues. Make her scream twice again. She has 2 vocal cords. Impressively enough. Double-throated wonder. That's why she's so popular here in Athens.
I mean, Athens and Rome were very much into the whole religious prostitution thing back in the day.
I'd believe it. I mean, there were many, many centuries before sexuality was basically verboten in any sort of religious context.
Yeah.
It was once celebrated.
I can help you. We can save Athens.
Hard to believe.
You must hurry.
Okay, I think this might be the bit where it starts getting timed.
Look at how far we have to climb to save her.
After you have to do the fucking obstacle course from Gladiators.
Yeah, we're gonna be Ninja Warrior after this. How is she gonna hold on for that long?
She's so spindly.
Yep. And we already kept her waiting for quite a while.
Look at her, she has no upper body strength whatsoever.
Yep. Ah, that was lucky.
You got lucky. You got lucky.
I'll take it.
Help me, Kratos, please.
And that was half our allotted time. Now for the balance beams.
At least they're a bit wider this time.
Yeah. Kratos still has to move just as slowly and daintily.
And, you know, he just painted his toenails.
Uh-oh. Got there in the last 5 seconds.
And with that act, Kratos set in motion the events.
Unfortunately, he biffed it on the landing and smushed her like a pancake.
As Athena
Indeed.
herself has foretold.
Like, they didn't show the landing because clearly that would have killed her just as much as if she had let go.
Or is it Athens you have come to save?
No! I can't! We must not stop!
And when the oracle looked into his soul, she saw a beast as well as a man. Once a captain in the Spartan army, Kratos had begun his command with only 50 soldiers. But soon his numbers grew to the thousands. His tactics were brutal, but effective. Drunk with power, he was feared by all, except one. His wife was the only one to brave his fury.
How much is enough, Kratos? When will it end?
When the glory of Sparta is known throughout the world.
The glory of Sparta. You did this for yourself.
His desire for conquest knew no bounds, but that which he desired would ultimately consume him.
Okay, I thought they were gonna do the reveal, but apparently not yet.
No, I don't think that's until like halfway through the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remembered it being much, much later, even though it's super obvious at this point.
Yeah. He had a family, now he doesn't. How curious.
To defeat a god.
His nagging wife suddenly had blood squirt out of her eyeballs. What could that possibly mean?
Hidden by the gods across the desert.
Also, watching the cutscenes,
But be warned,
I
Kratos.
don't know if it was deliberate or not, but it reminds me a hell of a lot of the cutscenes from Dante's Inferno. Except they were all animated, but it feels like they might have been copying their homework.
Yeah. Dante's Inferno is as blatant a ripoff of God of War as anything could possibly be.
Yeah. Gameplay, absolutely, but in cutscenes, I was like, they had some originality by having them animate. Nope, turns out they didn't.
Yeah. Like, even the idea of just taking a mythology thing and making it super dark and edgy for an action game set piece. Kind of weird to call Dante's Inferno a mythology thing, but... Excuse me, Athena, I'm gonna check this route instead. You can stop with the epic music. It is no longer warranted.
This is the cliff from the beginning of the game.
Ah, yes.
I think when you get to the top, it says something like, "You sense a foreboding presence, but you're not sure why."
I'm already falling off of it. Yep, there it is.
Hey Kratos, can I copy your homework? Okay, but don't make it too obvious, Dante.
Ironic, because Kratos was intentionally stealing from Devil May Cry. Which also stars a famous Dante. Yep.
Oh shit, I was almost entirely exact.
And what's our prize for coming all this way?
Yeah, I get the feeling they kind of knew that you would come up here.
Yep, seems like it. And what's this all about? I apparently prayed to Athena, briefly.
Hey Athena, sup?
Speed up that descent.
Yeah, remember, you could jump down like 2 parts of it, but everything else is like, nah, we're making you walk.
Invisible walls, yeah. To be fair, some of it was over bottomless pits, so...
Yeah.
Bit of generosity there. And we took so long exploring that the epic music has run out. Now we approach in silence, ruining the moment.
Now we get to the bit that's actually impressive, and the game's like, nah.
We blew our load a second ago.
What do you think we are, made of orchestra money?
And the soundtrack to this game, I would say, is pretty standard. Like, it doesn't do many interesting things overall.
Yeah, none of the... Up until the 3rd game, which is the really cool main theme for Kratos. Old Devil's Pot of Team Milan. Up until then, most of the music is just pretty forgettable.
Yeah. I've been crawling through various game soundtracks looking for stuff to replace licensed music with. And God of War I checked out, and it wasn't very good. Not isolated from the game, anyway. perfectly fine in context, but
There's
playing it in
lot of games
context.
from this era where the soundtracks have maybe one or two interesting themes, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. This might be why health recovery chests are considered a secret unlockable for purposes of getting bonus items, is because they're often guarded by optional combat fights.
Yeah.
So you can't crack them open without actually doing the combat.
Also, yeah, this section is really generous with them.
Yep, they're all over the damn place. The water effects look good for a PS2 game.
Yeah. It's weird as well, because I don't recall ever having to come back to this bit.
Yeah. How much health could we possibly have lost there? That we need 3 chests? 4 now? Okay, Cyclopses. So maybe we would start to lose some health. If we chose to fight them. Yep. I prefer no combat in my action game.
It's worth it in the second game, because I'm fairly certain they give you, like, you can steal their eyes, and that's how you get your health up.
Yep, that would make sense.
But that's only in the second game.
Yep. Here the item is Gorgon Eyes. And we don't steal eyes from the Gorgon fights either.
Yeah. I suppose it's really so they could have more of them in the game.
Yeah.
Because the Cyclops is Cyclonopins? I don't know. Big one-eyed dudes. They're more mini-bosses in the second one.
Another health chest.
It's
We got through 10 health bars, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I'm fairly certain that's the only time you go through that section.
Yeah. And why does Athena's gigantic, elaborate statue with a huge sword leading to it also lead into the sewers? You think all that pomp and circumstance would lead to, like, some sacred temple or something. And maybe it has, but it goes through the sewers to get there.
The sacred sewerage system of Athena.
Yep. Athena, god of waste.
I mean, they had household gods for literally everything else.
I would believe it.
Not be surprised if there was one for plumbing.
Yeah, I think we're coming to the end of the Athens segment.
Yeah, Athens is just really more the prologue. The game proper doesn't really start until you get to Pandora's Temple.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, we came through this way earlier, and then we came across this huge big vista where we see Ares off in the distance, like, hours ago. And I remember that being the end of the Athens segment. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, Athens is already over. But no, we'd come across it again and do it all again.
Also, going back to voice actors, Ares in this game voiced by Steve Bloom.
Oh, nice. He was already everywhere, even at the time.
Yeah, I think the 90s and early to mid-2000s was the most prolific period for him as a voice actor.
Yeah.
He was literally everywhere.
Yep. His omnipresence has actually cooled off a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, most of the big voice actors from the 90s and 2000s don't do as much work.
Yeah, the pool has gotten much deeper for available voice actors.
Deeper but shallower. A lot of I find a lot of voice acting these days to be very generic.
Yeah, there is that. I feel like there are some people in the new generation of voice actors that are still on par with your Billy Wests and stuff, but most of them are just extremely prolific at doing a standard generic sort of voice. And acting well, but the voice aspect is less impressive than it ever has been.
Yeah. I think it's because they put a lot of performance into the role, but not the voice.
You must complete if you are to have any hope of saving Athens.
The Oracle spoke of Pandora's
That's
box.
actually just talk.
Can it be real?
The box exists. It is the most powerful weapon.
Kratos is high, man.
And with such a weapon, I could defeat Ares.
With the box,
This is also the quietest you'll ever hear him in the entire game.
so
That's true, yeah.
well, far across the desert of lost souls. There is safe passage through the deadly sands.
Poor voice actor must have had, like,
And follow
Dragon Ball Z levels of throat polyps after this role.
Oh, Jesus,
Only
yeah.
they can guide you to Kronos, the
He
Titan.
shouts every line in this game.
Kronos is the last.
It sounds painful with how deep he's speaking.
Wander the desert endlessly.
I mean, like, half the time even just putting on a voice like
until
his
the
causes me to
swirling
cough.
sands
Yeah.
rip the very flesh from his bones. Stay true to the song of the siren Kratos. Your journey begins here. Pray it leads
Sounds like a death metal singer half the time,
Pandora's box.
which would explain why there is a death metal cover album of God of War songs.
Find and destroy them all.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me as much as it probably should, huh?
Yeah. I listened through it. Like, I skimmed through it. And it's not very good.
Shocking.
Yeah. Fairly big name metal bands doing pretty by the numbers work. I don't remember a single example of who was on that album, but you can easily look it up.
Every other track has a bam ba ba bam 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 ba bam musical sting in it. Yeah, that's the Athens is basically the first 10% of the game.
Mm-hmm.
This bit accounts for the next 5, and then the Temple of Pandora is the next 70. I was really surprised when I played the game just how much time is spent in this next dungeon.
That is like the big plot MacGuffin, though. Pandora's box.
I thought it would be like we'd spend like 4 hours or so there, and then it'd be like, oh no, Ares took the box away and hid it somewhere else. You need to go to the Temple of Poseidon. It's like, nah, you're here for the duration. Best settle in, kid.
Yeah, for having the entirety of Greek mythology at their disposal, they sort of took a very limited scope. You can see why it became a franchise, because one game sort of squandered the potential.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the sirens were in this.
Yeah. 3 notches at the locations of the stars.
I think, if I remember right, you need to find 3 oases. Kill everything there.
Yeah, sounds right.
I think you need to follow the singing or something.
Yeah, that also sounds right. Right now the singing is just leading me back to the door. Oh, there she is. Okay. That's why it was leading me to the door. Where are you going? I'm supposed to be killing you.
Honey, you got real ugly. Remember, the kill animation on them is really funny.
Interesting. Okay, how about Wrath of the Gods? How you like that? Give her a hug. And snap her face.
Just fold her in half like a folding chair.
You must find and destroy the 2 remaining sirens before you may pass.
Definitely getting louder. Should be on the right track. There's one.
There she is.
They wander too, so...
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, seemed like she moved into the patrol path that I was moving through earlier.
And she's got an entourage.
Of course. Fastest way to deal with them would probably be freeze them. With the old Medusa gaze.
No.
Yeah, basically.
Might want to get a quick kill on them, though, because you're kind of low on health.
Yeah, there's that. Ugh, there's more of them. Glorious. And the siren can run away while you're distracted. Look at her go.
She is booking it.
Yeah. There she goes.
You must find and destroy the final siren before you may pass.
They really wanted this to be a whole event each time you kill one. Every single protagonist in every single PS2 game gets betrayed by the person telling them what to do.
Please, I have never played a single RPG in which some god or another turns out to have been playing the party from the entire beginning.
Yep. I'm almost positive that's why, like, one of the earliest of the Xbox 360 games, BioShock, had to be like, aren't you sick of this?
See, I thought you were going to say it was Spartan Total War, because I think that was a launch title as well.
It probably was, but BioShock is the famous deconstructor of your mentor betrays you.
Yeah.
After making you do exactly what you were told throughout the entire game, because there literally is no other choice.
And then Prey loved the twist so much he decided to copy it wholesale.
Which Prey?
Ah, which indeed.
Yeah.
It was the 2017 one. You're like, okay, this is more System Shock than BioShock. Great. I much prefer BioShock 2, System Shock 2. And then you get to the end of the game and it's like, so, I know we've been copying BioShock a lot, but... I mean, yeah, it's more System Shock influenced, but, you know, this day and age, it's practically the same thing.
Can I have this dance? Rejected.
The worst tango ever. Now that's the tango that I'm with.
The desert sirens have been destroyed. The path before you is now revealed.
You gotta wander through a mostly obscured screen all over again.
It's like Silent Hill 2, but worse.
Yep. Funny how that was like a technical limitation that there had to be so much fog. It became the most famous stylistic choice of the entire series.
And then they did the HD collection, which graphically was superior, but the fog effects were atrocious.
There was a lot wrong with the HD version.
I actually played I have it for the PS3, I think. Yeah, in fact, it's the PS3 version I've got. I know everyone was like, this is the, like, if you were a fan of Silent Hill, this is a slap in the face. But I was like, I need to know how bad it was, and to be fair, a lot of the complaints are exaggerated. But then you get stuff like the fog effects, and it's like, yeah, it's just not as atmospheric as it used to be.
Yeah.
And my biggest complaint was the fact that they weren't able to keep the original voice track for Silent Hill 3. Because the woman that plays Heather in the original version, she's just spot on.
Yep.
And they got Amanda Wynn Lee, who's, again, going back to voice actors, very established voice actor, to play her. And she does a good teenage girl, but it's just not the same.
Yeah. All the voice acting in the original games is pretty much perfect, even when it's like weird and awkward, because the characters are weird and awkward.
I mean, Lisa in the very first Silent Hill is still like, she like, everyone just remembers the really stilted stuff like "it was foretold by Gyromancy," but you hear Lisa and it's like, no, that's a genuinely good performance.
Yeah, and I've always said Guy Seehey is very good casting because he's playing an ugly American who refuses to acknowledge his horrific misdeeds because the reality of them would break his mind.
Say, Mr. Seehey, how do you feel about vaccines?
Yeah.
Not a fan, as it turns out.
Okay, the enemies aren't respawning currently, surprisingly enough.
Doesn't mean they won't.
Indeed. But we got out of there before we had to find out.
Okay, I was expecting that to be a lot worse than it was.
Yep. As was I.
Mainly because these games always go for the worst case scenario.
Yeah, I was fully expecting to get harassed throughout the entire block moving.
And technically speaking, the most powerful weapon in Olympus could easily just be a shotgun.
Indeed. Power creep over the centuries.
You just open a small hatch in the wall and it's a Glock. Huh, I was expecting something a bit more ornate, a bit fancier. Well, I mean, we've put, like, gold detailing on it. What more do you want?
Open the door to unlock the ultimate weapon, Kratos. And he does, and it's a sweet tooth.
Just standing there like, well, this is awkward.
I meant the ice cream truck, but that works too. The dude.
Just both of them like, hey, don't I know you from somewhere?
PlayStation All-Stars to the rescue.
I've excised that bit from my resume.
Try to act surprised when we do meet in that piece of shit fighting game.
Yeah, I think when we did that, we were like, hang on a minute, this is just basically Thrill Kill, but nerfed.
Yep. It also made me realize Sweet Tooth in that game is a family annihilator, quite famously. Played about that a lot in the Let's Play, where that was established.
Yeah.
Kratos in this game is a family annihilator.
Huh.
Jaffe, what's going on?
And they both wear clownish makeup.
That's true.
Like, they both literally have white face paint. Well, technically, but...
Yeah. That's getting creepy. I would be worried if I were related to Jaffe directly. Although he does seem to be perfectly fine. I'm not going to accuse him of being a family annihilator waiting to happen.
He's kind of an over-enthusiastic douchebag, but I think his family is mostly safe.
Yeah. Also, Kratos being bisexual, canonically, according to Jaffe and Jaffe alone, is what led to the most infuriating thing I've ever seen tweeted by him which is during Pride Month. He tweeted a picture of Kratos with a shirt that said Pride on it, and each letter had a different Pride flag color configuration. But one of the letters had the straight Pride flag on it.
I was waiting for something, and I thought it was going to be like, and each letter is made out of a mutilated corpse, but somehow that's worse.
Yep. Yeah, the straight Pride flag, for the record, is like a fascist bullshit thing made up by people acting in incredibly bad faith.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. Of course, Jaffe bit right onto it.
I'm never sure if he's actually, being a dipshit, or if he's just like, well, this is a good... I think this is probably a good thing, and no one's told me otherwise.
Yeah, he seems like the sort of guy who just gets brought in hook, line, and sinker on every single, fascist bait campaign.
Yeah, he's just a bit too credulous and takes everything at face value without going, well, hang on a sec, they were lying about this. What are the odds that they're lying about this thing as well?
Yeah. That's why he still hangs out with Gamergators.
Yeah. The first 2 or 3 times, okay, fair enough. We all make mistakes, but it's a consistent pattern. Maybe engage some critical... No, the other kind of critical thinking.
Yep.
Didn't he get into trouble for retweeting or amplifying something that Ben Shapiro said a while back, or am I thinking of someone else?
That would not surprise me in the least. I didn't see that, but it's definitely his sort of thing.
I remember it was one really notorious right-wing chud. And he was like, no, he's making a good point. It's like, yeah, at face value.
Yep. That's how they get you. That's how they draw you in to the real fascist shit.
Yeah, it's like, I don't see any problem with making sure that everyone who is registered, so everyone who is allowed to vote does. And also, something horrific about Mexicans.
Yeah. Also, the vast majority of people I don't like shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Yeah. And while we're at it, here's all these other groups who have spotty voting records. No. We get the just stop after the first 10 words and we can agree.
Yep. Yeah, that's a whole libertarian thing, is like, you make a good point, and then you draw to the conclusion a very, very bad point.
Yeah. I think libertarian, I think everyone should be allowed to the right to self-determination. Yes. Good. Excellent. And also, I think the age of consent laws are bullshit.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yep, they actually stole the term from libertarian socialists, who around the world are like the most extreme left-wing people on the possible spectrum.
Okay, I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. Anywhere outside of America, libertarian means like really, really, really left-wing people.
See, I thought it was just because of the whole, America, liberty, statue there, all kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which probably sealed the deal, to be honest.
Yep. People with bad ideas love co-opting good terms to make themselves seem better.
Like the classic, no, they called themselves National Socialists.
Indeed.
Yeah, you ever think for 5 minutes they might have been lying?
Ever heard of Night of the Long Knives?
But it's got crystals in the name, and, crystals are pretty.
Kronos, the last of the mighty Titans, emerged from the desert sands. On his back, Pandora's temple awaited, massive and patient, ready to challenge all who went in search of its guarded treasure.
Totally forgot about this, but obviously, now it's ringing a bell.
Yeah. dude shows up again in all 3 games, actually, now that I think about it.
That's right. How is Kratos holding on there? He suddenly gains Spider-Man powers.
Very carefully.
What the fuck?
But in fairness, when you fight him in the 3rd game, he does have like very obvious climbable patches on him.
Yeah.
Like he has like Titan dermatitis.
Yep. But right there, Kratos' hands were clearly flat against a stone wall, and he was holding on easily.
The cursed temple, never to return.
Kratos actually means terrible lizard in Greek.
Yep.
But it's like terrible in the pejorative sense. It's just like, man, this lizard sucks. Killed his entire family. What the fuck?
At least we didn't have to climb up to the snail temple ourselves.
So here's the next 2/3 of the game.
Indeed. We'll fuck around with that next time.